The hardest goodbye when your soulmate walks away. The hardest goodbye is not the loud one, not the one thrown like thunder across a room filled with anger, not the one sealed with slammed doors and shattered glass. No, the hardest goodbye is the quiet one, the one that trembles on lips that once knew only your name as prayer. It is the kind that comes when your soulmate stands before you, still loving you, still breaking with you, still belonging to you, but walking away anyway, and the world does not end. That is the cruelest part. The sky remains blue, the sun rises like nothing sacred has just been torn in half. People laugh in the streets, cars pass by, birds sing, and you stand there holding a goodbye that weighs more than the entire sky. I remember the first time I saw you. It was not fireworks, it was not chaos, it was peace, like my soul recognized a language it had forgotten. It once spoke. You looked at me, and something ancient shifted, not attraction, not infatuation, recognition, as if in another lifetime we had promised to find each other again. You smiled, and my heart whispered, there you are. We built something the world could not see. It wasn't made of grand gestures or dramatic confessions. It was built in quiet moments, in shared silences that felt louder than any crowd, in laughter that healed, scars we never showed anyone, in fingertips brushing, like constellations touching. You were not just my love, you were my home. And I did not know that homes can walk away. The day the goodbye came, there was no villain, no betrayal, no storm, no screaming, just truth. Truth that hurt because it was honest. We stood in front of each other with eyes full of love and fear, and the understanding that sometimes love is not enough to hold two lives moving in different directions. You said, maybe in another time, and I wanted to scream. That time had already chosen us, but I saw it in your eyes. The pain of someone letting go of the one thing they never wanted to lose. The hardest goodbye is when your soulmate wipes your tears while leaving, when their hands still fit perfectly in yours, but they slowly loosen their grip, when they memorize your face like they are studying a sacred book they will never read again. You hugged me like you were trying to merge our souls one last time. And in that embrace, I felt the universe hesitate, as if even destiny was unsure if it had made the right decision. After you left, the room felt larger, too large. The silence echoed. I sat where you once sat and placed my hand on the empty space beside me, as if your warmth might still be there, but warmth fades. Memories don't. Every corner of my world whispered your name, the cup you preferred, the songs we played on repeat, the way you laughed when you couldn't stop. I tried to breathe. Without you, it felt unnatural, like inhaling without air. People say, if it's meant to be, it will come back. But they do not understand the cruelty of that hope, because when your soulmate leaves, you are not afraid of never loving again. You are afraid of loving anyone else. How do you replace a soul that felt stitched to yours? How do you unlearn the rhythm of a heart that beat in sync with yours? Nights became the hardest, because that is when The mind stops pretending. I would lie awake and replay every moment. Could I have fought harder, spoken softer, loved deeper, stayed quieter, held tighter? But love is not a cage. And soulmates are not possessions. Sometimes they come not to stay forever, but to awaken something you did not know was sleeping inside you. And you did awaken me. You taught me how deeply I could feel, how fiercely I could care, how vulnerable I could become without losing strength. Loving you was not a mistake. Losing you was not a failure. It was a lesson written in stardust and tears. The hardest goodbye is when you don't stop loving. When weeks pass and the love remains. When months pass and you still check your phone, hoping for your name to light up the screen. When years pass and certain songs still pull you back to that exact moment when you were theirs and they were yours, you don't forget your soulmate. You carry them in the way you now love differently, in the way you protect your heart, in the way you understand that some connections are too rare. To resent, I do not hate you. For living, I hate that life sometimes demands sacrifice from two people who would have chosen each other every single time. If love alone could have built a bridge, we would have crossed oceans. If effort alone could have defeated distance, we would have won. But sometimes growth requires solitude, and destiny is not always aligned with desire. Still, if I ever see you again, in another city, on another day, in another chapter, I know my heart will recognize you before my mind does. And even if we do not speak, even if we simply pass by, a part of me will always whisper, that was my soulmate. No,